April 6th, 2002 will go down in history as not just the date of my 54th match ever in my career, but it will be the first time sexy Steve DeMarco faces Lance Hoyt. At the time he was known as Shadow, but it is the first in a plethora, in a historic feud of sorts, especially at certain places. But this is where it started. In Austin, Texas, at CTPW. Now, I said it was my 54th match, and, you know, that's true. In my career, that was my 54th match. At that point, I'm still keeping count, and I've more than doubled the amount of matches that I've performed in since year one ended. You know, by that point, I'd be on match 56, I think, when my anniversary actually hit. So I wrestled 42 more times, you know, 42 times in 1 year, which was great because I had almost tripled the amount of dates that I had wrestled in my first year, which was good. But that was the second CTPW show of the year, and also I wrestled for them a few more times. But yeah, that was the second one of the year. So, but it was April, so good times. I was getting to face Shadow. Now, I hadn't ever faced this guy, like I mentioned. And, but he had came to Austin a couple times, and we'd open the gym to him, and he'd be around, and we'd go over some basic stuff, just, you know, drills and a few other things. Basic, you know, holds and whatnot, just to kind of, just to train. We were just training together. But this would be the first time we'd ever match up against one another. And it's hard. I hadn't seen that match in a few years. I think I'd seen it probably when I got it on VHS, and then when I converted it, I watched it over. And then I watched it over just to kind of look at it. And this I watched it recently just now, kind of remind myself of the time. It's hard to look at matches like that, you know, but at the same time it's like, well, you know, it was my 54th match. I'm kind of 2 years in. I'm about to get it, I think. And I was working to get it. So yeah, but I had seen Shadow, not just training with him. I had actually gone to an STEW show where he had been at, and I got to see him in front of a crowd, and I got to say, from the moment he walked out of the curtain, I thought he was going to be a big deal. He just had the timing. The entrance is like, that is one of those little things that can make or break a guy, and a lot of guys and gals don't think about that entrance, that first thing when you walk out the curtain. And he just had it. He came out at the right time, and man. And the thing is that I like wrestling bigger guys. I wouldn't say that necessarily is my preference, but I don't have a problem wrestling big guys. Big guys, wrestling big guys is easy. I mean, that's an easy story to tell. You don't need a whole lot of explanation when you see a height and size difference. And if you can tell a good story out of it, you can get a lot of mileage out of it. And I think at that point, if you watch it, I mean, that was our attempt at what a televised match would be. I think, you know, that's the style you would aspire to be working at, because that's what would get you probably a job, is if you could work televised style matches. And you looked at WWE, mainly because they were like the only show in town for the most part. And, you know, they tend to tell a good story, so you'd watch that and try to emulate it. And I think we did a really good job emulating it. I think our chemistry was really good. We've always had great chemistry, and that was just the start of it. And I think at the start, you really try to fill each other out, figure out what's going to work, what's not going to work, communication, timing, and whatnot. I mean, that comes with time. But I mean, that first match really, just on that, I was real proud of that match. I think we told a really good story, and I had good gear. Finally, I had like trunks and, you know, or shorts and, you know, kick pads at that point. And, you know, I think I was working on getting boots, and yeah, I recall having a good solid match with him and everybody being cool with it and everybody liking it. I mean, I was in the midst of my EWF run and I had ventured to PCW in a dark match, and I'd actually done a couple of dark matches and actually had been on NWA Southwest television. I was going to be part of an EWF invasion that didn't happen. I think it was one show and then that was the end of it. But I would soon be, I would soon be coming back to NWA Southwest, and I'll talk about that in a second. But like I said, I always had a blast working Lance. Another thing that sticks out to me is, because I'm watching it now, and as you're going to see it in a second, in a few minutes, it had George De La Isla and Papa Don giving me their expert analysis. I think they probably heard this at Public Access. And they had Venus join in. I really appreciate her doing her best to make me out to be a star. And I really enjoyed it. Enjoyed watching that. And then Dale Kuntz was in there, and he's a guy that's been around the Austin scene for a while. He does show. I see him from time to time whenever I'm in Austin. But yeah, man, I had a blast working with Lance, and it was a true pleasure, and, did little would I know that he'd be so instrumental in my career later on. Speaking of which, guys, instrumental, the day before, I really wish I had this footage. The day before, I was in San Antonio at a stew show, at an STEW show. I was tagging with Devastator. And our opponents were Jeremy Sage, who would go on to really assist me down the road. I'll have plenty of time to talk about that, but immense respect for that guy. And another guy I highly respect, and I've only gotten to be in the ring with him one time, and it's such a shame that he and I don't get a chance to really lock horns very often. But it was Showtime Scott Summers. The first time the only time I think we've ever faced, and I did come out on top in that match. But at the same time, that's neither here nor there, because I don't have the footage. So it's a shame. A lot of these matches I don't have footage of. But coming up, I do have the next set of videos should have footage, including the next video, which will be my kind of like official NWA Southwest debut, kind of on my own. The EWF invasion didn't happen, and my first opponent is Hot Stuff Hernandez. Yeah, and I'll have that match. Going to Reality Wrestling tomorrow or later on today, if by the time this is uploaded. I'm excited to go back. I'm interested to see what I'm going to be doing on the show. If you're in the Houston area and can make it out to the Clear Lake City Recreation Center and around 7 p.m., 8 p.m., you can come check out a live taping. This stuff will go straight to YouTube. It gets a lot of hits. It's got Booker T on it. And a whole host of guys, very talented guys. Television champion Jared Steele, my old friend, the ROW heavyweight champion, Rockstar Robbie, apparently who had an hellacious tables match with the Pride, and I know there's footage out there. I heard it was the table that would not break. It's like 8 attempts. Some insanity. Give it up to those two guys. But a whole slew of other guys, Gustavo Mendoza, American Eagle, and Kelly Kevin. Just a great operation. Ruthless Ryan Davidson. I mean, the list of guys that are on that show. Jasper Davis, the Hammer. The Pride, like I mentioned. Just too many. Mitch Baxter. Yeah, I mean, there's so many. There's Aiden Cristiano and his lovely woman. So much. Anyway, I'm going off on tangent. So without further ado, hey, sit back, relax, and enjoy this little bit of history when sexy Steve DeMarco battles Lance Hoyt for the very first time on CTPW's Public Access Television. Until the next time, later.
Venus. Well, I'll go and watch Venus as well. Oh, again, the match has started, and Shadow right now lowering the boom on Sexy Stephen DeMarco, and this is, oh, man, what wow
He
strength.
is laying those arms in.
You're right, absolutely, Venus, and again, this is just, I mean, DeMarco looks tiny compared to that big Shadow guy.
Shadow is taking control early in the match, George.
You're right, and look, the fans right now are, oh, lift him ahead, he's got him down. Oh, that is great.
By DeMarco.
Way to take over, DeMarco. Yes,
Drop kick and just barely caught him, and again moving back and again Shadow. Big chop.
that is a big man, hard
Another
to take
chop.
down.
Papa Don, you're seeing this. Your Shadow Man is just not looking too good right
Look at
now.
that right there.
Oh my gosh.
That leg.
A size 15 boot right into DeMarco's face right there.
But again, Shadow right now is trying to do anything and everything to defeat the Sexy one. We're talking about Sexy Stephen DeMarco, one half of Sexy Vengeance. And I don't know where day it is tonight, but right now we're looking at DeMarco trying to hold up his own.
Did you say size 15 boot?
Yeah, size 15 boot. Probably 16. I wouldn't doubt it. Guy's a big man.
Well, Shadow right now is waving his hair back, but right now DeMarco fighting back, fighting his hair, fighting whatever he can to do everything he can to defeat Shadow.
He's going to do. He's going to take more than that to talk, George, because he's going to have to defeat him. There it is, beautiful sidewalk slam, and he's going to deliver a slam to him right there, like a potted house slam.
Well,
That would take any man out.
Whoa, again, the referee's now making a count, but a shorter count. Dale Kuhn, the referee, for this great match here. And, you know, we're all over the state of Texas, and everywhere we travel, we'd like to let the fans know, the CTPW fans, where we are.
What is this, George? This is not fair. That's cheating.
That's using the ropes to his advantage, and we're talking about Shadow. I bet Papa Don, you showed him.
You know what, George? I have a problem with these people coming in here in this announcer's booth with us and mentioning the word cheating. I hate that word.
Well, right now, Venus right now is calling it the way she's looking at it, Papa Don.
Well, you are well acquainted with that word. Are you not, Papa Don?
You know, I like to call it illegal tactics.
Illegal, but I think that's going by your book, and I think we can call it illegal if you want to, Papa Don, but it's still cheating in my concern.
Let's keep it simple for the simple man.
Again, we're seeing Shadow being throwing him up over and up. Oh, no, man, he landed on his head.
Right on his
Beautiful,
head.
excellent Samoan drop there by Shadow. 1, 2. Come on, Shadow. You got to cover him better than that.
Sexy Stephen DeMarco right now took a big blow right to the back of the head, and right now on the receiving end is DeMarco. Oh, fighting back.
back for it.
Fighting back again and again. He's not giving up, Venus. He's not giving up.
He's not going to give it up because there it is. Shadow just took him right off again.
But you know, Shadow is a hard man to defeat, but DeMarco is putting up a fight. He is not going to let him win this match.
You're believing this and believing it right. And again, right now, got him in an airplane position, and he's got him up over, into his abdomen and down. What a belly bust.
And DeMarco is a pretty big guy himself, and for Shadow to be able to pick him up just like he did right now, that takes a lot of strength, George.
You're not kidding, but Papa Don is speechless right now, looking at his man, the way he is being fought back by Stephen DeMarco.
I'm watching my man Shadow tear apart DeMarco limb by limb.
And this is an incredible match. DeMarco is not staying down. He is not going to make it easy for Shadow.
Caught him up in midair, and Shadow's got him up. He's got him wrapped around his arms, and top and down he goes.
Excellent. You know what? There's only one other person I know that does a fall-away slam like that, but it doesn't count. This Shadow is a lot better.
We're talking about the heavyweight champion, or right now, ex-heavyweight champion, Devastator. Devastator does that beautifully. Shadow right now throwing Sexy Stephen DeMarco to the opposite side.
He misses that clothesline.
Oh, and being caught again. Got him wrapped up to his arms. I don't know. I can't believe he's going to... Oh, my gosh. A takedown, and that hurt.
You would think that DeMarco will learn his lesson twice now, but obviously he's too stupid or that hair's too long to realize what he's doing.
This is very painful to watch.
There's the referee making the count, and just a 2 count, and DeMarco just barely kicking out and trying to hold his own. But I'll tell you, this punishment these two have been taking, they can find this kind of excitement in all Capital Texas Power Wrestling matches. You know for sure by clicking us on and reading about us. All our storylines at www.ctpw.net.
Or they can call us, Georgia, 512-707-3747.
Venus, I'm telling you, look, this man is trying to win this match by using all his strength. And DeMarco right now holding the zone and just barely is right there and just kicks a Shadow right into the chest again, fighting back again. He's hitting him and over again. Whoa! Oh my
That
God!
was beautiful job by DeMarco taking over that.
Papadon, you saw that, and again, we're really rooting for this man.
So now DeMarco's shirt comes off. Now he's going to really do some damage to Shadow. A DDT is going to, he needs more than a DDT to keep him down. Get up, Shadow.
Well, Stephen DeMarco, a man that's really hailed by throughout every independent arena in the state of Texas, now being and trying to get everything he can to defeat this big man,
Beautiful.
Shadow. Again, oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
Come on, Shadow, kick out,
for the pin.
Shadow.
One. Oh my God, DeMarco right now is absolutely
Look at these fists, George. Come on now.
Flying. And again, everything he's trying to defeat this
Going to the
huge
top
man.
rope.
There he goes, climbing up to the top rope. There's Stephen DeMarco. And on top, there he is. Del Kuhn is saying, get off the rope. He's flying up and...
Oh, missed that.
I can't believe
that
it.
was very painful.
He missed. Typical DeMarco not knowing exactly what to do. Here you go, pump handle. Here we go. Pump handle.
Over the top. Swing and a miss for Shadow.
Oh, beautiful kick to the face.
Right there, everybody just witnessed a big kick. And right now,
Shadow.
2, 3, there it is. Stephen DeMarco, what did you think about him?
Oh, very, very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
He is nice looking, and I'll tell you what, not for a man standpoint, I guess he's a wrestler myself. But
What else? Oh yeah, PCW reunion. Once I find something out, I will let people know. But if you go to their Facebook, I think it's PCWTX. I think you can find it that way. Professional Championship Wrestling. Feel free to comment, put on the wall that you wanted to mark out, especially if you're in the area. And if you're in the area and you don't want to wait for the PCW reunion to see me, then the best thing to do is just to tell promoters that you want Steve DeMarco over there. Because if you tell them that you're interested in seeing me wrestle, then they probably will give me a call.